at the top of the episode to say that we need to issue a correction from our last episode where you said that Larry Hagman's character in I Dream of Jeannie is called Major Healy.
Yeah.
His name is Major Nelson.
Healy is his...
Yes, Healy is his friend.
No, don't.
So nobody get in the comments and yell at me because I'm correcting your mistake here.
Major Nelson.
I'm almost certain now that the podcast will be called No Escaping the Cul-de-Sac, a Knots Landing rewatch podcast. I'm Tricia.
I'm Linda.
So today we watched episodes 3 and 4 of season 1 of Knots Landing. The first episode is called Let Me Count the Ways. So I think we'll just go point by point the plot of the episode. The first thing I wrote down doesn't have anything to do with the plot, but I wrote down that Eric and Diana are somehow both 15.
Oh, right. Yes. You know, I've always wondered about that. From the very first time I watched it, I kept thinking, are they twins?
I always wonder if they're twins, but they never say that they are twins.
No, they don't.
And they always act like Diana's the oldest. Like she's the oldest of their 3 kids.
Yep.
So...
But it's strange. I've always wondered, okay, are they twins or aren't they?
If they're not, they're very close in age.
They are.
In episode 3, Eric says he's 15. In episode 4, Diana says that she's 15.
Right.
So
9 months apart.
I guess. Irish twins, as they call them.
There you go.
Always wondered that. It's very, it's obviously just a writing oversight that they had them both saying that they were 15.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. So I liked the beginning of this episode showcasing like Karen feeling stuck in a rut in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole life is making breakfast for her family and getting her kids off to school, and she's stuck in a routine. And I don't know if this is a deliberate choice by the set designers, but I noticed that their kitchen table only has 4 chairs and there's 5 of them in the family.
Oh.
I don't know if that's deliberate or if it's a signal that Karen, is the one who's providing these meals every day, but she doesn't have a place at the table and
never sits down, always running around. How they do that in some movies, some shows where the mom never sits. They're always serving and cooking.
Their table only has 4 chairs, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And I did just like how the show showed that she's stressed and gets so worked up about her kids dropping tomatoes on the floor, and she's just had enough of her life at this point.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna have a panic attack, and she goes to the front window to get air, and she sees Val seeing Gary off to work, and they're being all lovey-dovey, and she gives him a kiss as he drives away, and you can kind of see Karen feeling a little bit like, must be nice.
Yeah, that must be nice. I wish I had that.
Sid goes to work, and Karen leans into the driver's side window like she's going to give him a kiss, and he just goes, What? I thought it was a nice callback to her looking at Val and Gary, and I'm going to kiss him goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, that'll work. If I lean in, I'll have my kiss goodbye. But no, just what?
After Sid goes to work, Laura and Richard come out of the house, and Richard's running for the school board, which I think is a weird choice. He says that it's to further his career. I guess that makes sense. If you're a lawyer, to be involved in local politics, I guess would be career enhancing.
Yeah, I guess it would. Yeah, because I thought that was kind of strange too.
They have a kid, Jason, but Jason is in elementary school.
Yeah.
And Richard is spending all his time talking about this high school teacher, and I don't know why he cares.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. I thought, well, wait a minute, why you don't have a child in high school,
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with him, so I find it bizarre. I think that it's an interesting study of Richard's character. They never say that he's a Republican or conservative, but he gives off big right-wing vibes in this episode.
He definitely does. Yes, he does.
He's all up in arms about this teacher giving out abortion clinic information and talking about venereal disease and
condoms and
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Like Karen says, even at this time in early 1980, you were getting sex ed in school. It wasn't some radical thing to know what a venereal disease is. The show from the beginning is pretty progressive. I say that with a big grain of salt because this show is the whitest show that I've ever seen. There are no non-white main characters until season
Quite a bit
9.
later. Yeah, quite a bit later. Yeah.
And it's just a sea of white people.
It is.
But in other ways, it's a very progressive show. Always championing progressive politics. Richard is framed as the idiot in this one.
He is.
He's framed as the one who is wrong. And I don't know if that's unusual for the time, the late 70s, early 80s, for a show to take such a strong stance of like, this teacher is not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, when we were watching that episode, I was trying to remember when I was that age, how much it was, talked about at school. And, I don't remember ever taking a sex ed class in high school, but yeah.
So you did not have sex ed in high school?
No, I don't believe it is.
Oh, interesting. So I guess it must have been kind of radical then for this show to say that it's okay for this teacher to be bringing these things up and
Yeah.
to show kids a little bit of the real world, I guess.
Right.
They're very careful about, other than characters that for plot reasons have a very defined set of politics, like Karen and a character many seasons, well, not many seasons, but 4th season from now, one of our favorites, Greg Sumner, has defined politics because he is a politician.
Right.
But other than that, it kind of plays it neutral with how characters feel about certain things. But the show itself seems to take the moral stance that the progressive politics are correct. And that seems to be the case for all of the show.
I agree with that. Yeah, Karen is very outspoken, talks about her protests and when her friend comes back to see her and how much they did.
Yeah. But yes. But anyway, they go to this PTA meeting, I think it is, or it might be a school board meeting talking about the election for the school board. But I think they call it a PTA meeting. But they go, and Richard is complaining about this teacher and his teaching methods of bringing in prostitutes into class and ex-convicts into class. And then the teacher's there and he stands up to defend himself. Karen before that meets him at the telephone, at the payphone.
Right.
And he kind of flirts with her. And I thought that his flirting was kind of yucky in that scene. I didn't like it. Because he says, oh, I bet you're more beautiful when you smile. And I just don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it when they... Oh, yeah, those comments either. I don't care.
But it seems to charm Karen.
Well, in her frame of mind.
I was going to say, I'll give her a pass because she's
having a tough time.
And he is defending himself during the meeting. And he's explaining that he's just trying to get people's attention, kids' attention, so he can teach them something. And he kisses Karen to prove a point that I'll get your attention and then you'll listen to me. I don't know. It's wild that he does that.
Yes, it is.
That's kind of crazy that he does that.
It's a little much.
I don't know, dude. His name is David, by the way. David Crane is his name. I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling him. I don't find him very cute.
No, I don't think the flirting is cute. I don't, no. None of it, because she's married. Just goes too far.
After that, Karen kind of really realizes how she's feeling in her marriage. That this cute young guy flirted with her and kissed her, and it made her feel special and like a way she hasn't felt in a while. And she says at the end of the episode. So she, to her credit in the beginning, is directing that in the correct direction of, okay, well then I'm going to make a really nice dinner for Sid and we're going to have this romantic dinner and rekindle something in our marriage that has been missing. Although I will say I don't fully believe this story that this is missing in their marriage, because 2 episodes ago they were they were in a back seat of the car.
Oh, that's right.
They were being very spontaneous.
Right, which is what? How long ago? Come on.
Right. I mean, I don't know how long in universe it's been, but
right.
I don't know. It didn't seem like their marriage was stale to me when she was like, let's test out the back seat. But
yes.
whatever.
And he was cute and, it was.
But hey, she feels the way she feels, I guess. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think this episode has so many nice small, subtle moments to show that like these little things are getting to her. He calls and he's not going to be home in time for dinner. There's just really these really tiny moments where it's like, then this is one other thing, and this is another thing, and this is another thing that's just piling onto her. I think the writing is really nice in this one because it is so subtle that it's not anything big that's bothering her.
And she doesn't have any kind of breakdown or meltdown or anything. She just,
it's death by a thousand cuts. She's just feels like another pressure and another one and another thing goes wrong and something else, and she just gets to like a straw breaking the camel's back point. And I think it's nicely done. I think it's realistically done. It's not over the top dramatic. So I enjoy it.
It was good. Yeah, it was very good. She's good. She's just really good.
She is. She's great. Mm-hmm. I think all of the actors and actresses are excellent. I think they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
I think all of the main cast is great. And I think even when the writing later becomes crazier and more over the top and like insane like amnesia things are happening.
Yeah.
I think that they chose such a great cast that it kind of brings those moments down to a real level where you feel like it could actually happen or it is actually happening, even when we're in soap opera territory. I mean, this show does get over the top, don't get me wrong. There's some crazy stuff that happens in this show. Yeah. But I think that the actors just bring such a realness to it.
Yeah, you do.
That you really you feel it, even if it's crazy. That could never actually happen.
Yeah, they're very, very good. They're very authentic, very, yeah.
And then I wrote down that Karen and Val are so cute. And they have this really nice, natural friendship that comes out of the last couple of episodes where they've kind of started a friendship, and then by now, episode 3, it's established that they're friends, and I like it a lot. I like that Val is in a place now where she feels comfortable just showing up at Karen's front door because she's like, yeah, Gary just called me too.
Right.
And I want to, and I know you planned this thing. I know you planned this big dinner for Sid and he's not coming home. So do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
So I think it's really nice. Yeah. I think that they have such a sweet friendship.
They do. They have an amazing friendship.
Val, I've noticed, is the common denominator in like all of my favorite friendships on this show. She's such a great friend and she has such great chemistry with all the other people, not even just women. There's a character, I guess just saying his name doesn't spoil who he is. His name is Mac, and Val and Mac are the best as friends. Just so cute. I love them so much.
Yeah, their rapport is very good. Their chemistry is amazing.
And then in the next episode, we see Val with Laura, which is also great. And Val and Karen is great. I don't know. I think Val in friendships is a lot of fun and really nice to watch. I think she just gives off good friend energy, which I like. And then they go to this second meeting where they're dealing with this school board election thing. And then Karen and Val go out to dinner or something afterward just to get coffee maybe because they ate the dinner that she was planning for Sid. So maybe they just went out for coffee. But then Mr. Crane shows up and slides into their booth. And he's the corniest man I've ever seen.
He is very corny.
His flirting is so corny.
It is.
That poem about peanut butter that he comes up with is the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. It's so bad.
But Val was hilarious.
Val is great in this scene.
She was.
Because she's like, what in the hell? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, what's happening here?
Watching David and Karen interact and do like bizarre flirting, like weird flirting.
Well, and Val is sitting there and
she's awkward about it.
Yeah.
And when he's talking about peanut butter, and she goes, I like to eat peanuts right out of the shell. She's so funny. It's so good. Her timing on that just kills you every time. I would not be charmed by this.
No.
But Karen is charmed by this. And like I said, I'll give her a pass because of the way she's been feeling.
Right. We'll give her a pass on that one. But he's terrible. He's corny. He's after one thing. He's just,
He's so corny.
He is.
And he knows that she's married, so already, before anything else happens at the end of this episode, he's already being very inappropriate.
Yes.
Because he knows.
Well, yeah, Sid showed up at the first meeting.
And he mentions that she's married later in the episode. I love Val in that scene, though.
That was a good scene.
So good.
That was very good.
And then when she gets home, he calls and he's in this weird, like, sexy position on his bed and he's like on his stomach and he's on the phone. He's like, I just wanted to say goodnight.
Yeah.
And I totally don't like
Yes. Yeah, hang up.
Even not being married, if she was single,
Yeah.
and a guy was flirting like that and like calling and saying it in that tone, I'd be like, no, thank you.
No, I'm out. Don't call me.
Also, why does he have her phone number?
That's what I was gonna say. Why? Yeah. How did you get my phone number? What are you doing calling me at home? And it's just weird.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe there's like a phone tree because his student is her daughter. So maybe he has like all of the family's numbers. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't particularly care for it.
No.
Then she goes and sits in on his class to see what he's all about. And to see if she agrees with his methods or not. And like you mentioned before, there's the pregnant teenager who's talking about how she was emancipated. And she talks about how she had to drop out of school, which probably at the time is true.
Yes.
That's what you did.
That's what you did.
But my goodness, not having a high school diploma and having a baby and being emancipated is like that's a rough setup.
Yeah. And the father of the baby, he's not in the picture.
It's just rough. It's a rough scene, but I liked it being presented on a TV show in 1980.
Yeah,
probably not something that was talked about a lot then. Of course, nowadays, if a teenager were to get pregnant, they would be encouraged to finish high school at least to
absolutely.
To have a diploma so they could at least get a job. I enjoyed the scene. I enjoyed afterward Karen be like, okay, I'm on your side now. Let's vote against Richard so he doesn't win the school board position.
Right.
And of course, Richard has sat in on this too and was like, I rest my case.
Yeah.
Which, like, what do you mean? Even for conservative politics. Like, that would also be your talking point. Like, there are consequences to having sex, and this is what's going to happen to you if you have sex. But not that I think in those terms, but a conservative person would. So I don't know why he's so upset about it, but whatever.
No, I didn't understand his position on it either. It was,
And then they were supposed to go on some field trip to the planetarium. Diana, Karen's daughter, mentions it at the beginning of the episode. And then after, it cracks me up because Karen does this kind of thing all the time. And I love that it's established this early in the series because I remember her doing this exact kind of thing a million times over the next 14 years, where she will just decide that something is canceled.
Yep.
Like,
that's hilarious.
She decides this trip to the planetarium is canceled. And it's like, okay, but it was a field trip. So you have multiple kids who have gotten permission from their parents to go to the planetarium. The school has funded this field trip. I don't think you can just decide that it's not happening.
Canceled. Yeah.
Instead, we're going to make campaign posters for an election that's happening tomorrow. It's bizarre, but it's so on brand for Karen to be like, well, we're not doing this thing now. We're going to do this thing I want to do, which is a funny, like just a hilarious character flaw that she has consistently for 14 years.
Yeah, and I love that. I love it when they do that.
Because
with it, yeah.
I remember an episode where I think it's season 4, season 5, and there's going to be a double date where they're going to go to play or something. Karen is like, well, never mind. Let's not do that. Let's stay home and eat this completely different food than the place that we had reservations for. And everyone's just like, okay, what? I guess we're doing this now. So I thought it was really funny that she's doing this from episode 3.
I was going to say very early on. Yeah, very early.
I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, instead of going to the planetarium tonight, let's go do this. Like, that was a school field trip.
Right.
I don't think you can do that. But she does that.
She does that.
And they don't go to the planetarium. And they make campaign posters, like I said, for an election that's happening tomorrow.
Right. And they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to put up posters for the election that day.
And the slogans on these campaign posters were cracking me up in the background. There's one that says, "Cage up Avery," which I'm like, that's a little extreme.
Oh.
And I think there's one that's like, "A very poor choice." And
Oh, big play on words.
good Lord. Cage up Avery got me. Like, I don't think lock him up is the play.
Yeah, that's going a little too.
It's a little extreme.
Yeah.
But it was making me laugh. And of course, Richard is so extra, and he's got a megaphone, a speaker, and he borrowed a car from Sid, and he's got his posters all like taped on it because he knows he's gonna lose. Well, he thinks he has a 50-50 shot. It's just for the school board, which is very funny. I don't know. I think this whole thing about the campaign posters and him campaigning so hard for this, I love that it's so extreme, but it's also like, I get why Karen cares because her kid is in this school.
At school, and yeah, he is her daughter's teacher, and
she likes him, and she's engaged in school. Like, I get why Karen cares. I don't get why Richard cares this much, though. Like, he really cares. I guess it's more career-based than actually wanting to be on the school board, if he really believes it's going to help his career. Because as we said, Richard is not doing well in his career, so I guess he's just trying to do whatever. They're making the campaign posters, and they go for a walk, and he is of course flirting with her again and asking her out to lunch at his apartment, which is like, dude, really? And she tells him to drop it, which is the correct thing to say. But then, why does she say this, by the way? Why does she say, "What is that star?" Yeah. Because, come on, turn around and go inside right now. Like, why are you asking this? What is that star?
You're still enjoying being
exactly.
Like, she wants all this happy. You want it to last a little longer, and
and then, of course, the corniest person on earth says it's a wishing star.
Yeah.
And she needs to hold her flower that he picked for her and close her eyes and make a wish. And I'm going to make a wish too. No,
come on.
So corny. So corny. And then, of course, he kisses her with her eyes closed. She knew she was going to do that.
She knew exactly.
Karen at this point is taking things a little too far.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Enjoying being flirted with, sure. But we're at a point
across the line here. Yeah.
And yes, when he kisses her, I just wrote down, I told you I did while we were watching it, I just wrote down in all caps, inappropriate. Because she had just said, drop it.
Yeah, so don't give him signals. Don't give him the wrong signals that,
Well, still, just on his end, don't kiss her. Don't do this.
No.
This is inappropriate.
We're both adults here. She said drop it, so, yeah.
And then it's the day of the election, and at 5 a.m, I guess they're putting up these Cage Up Avery campaign posters the day of the election, which I don't think is going to help too much.
No, I think you're a little late on that.
What do I know? I noticed that Sid, as always, like, very consistent characterization in this show, just from beginning to end. Sid is avoiding confrontation again because he's telling Richard, "Oh, it's not personal. Karen just feels strongly about this. It doesn't have anything to do with your friendship or anything." But he tells Karen to vote for him, like, to just vote for him because it is personal and he's our neighbor. Playing both sides, as he always does.
Always.
Not taking a stand on anything, just trying to be neutral all the time. Forever.
Yes.
It's just what Sid is. He wants to be neutral on everything. When they're talking in front of the house about the election, and Karen says one of my favorite lines because it is so true. And Karen and Richard have a wonderful friendship.
Yeah, I love
they have a great relationship, and they have big moments in later seasons. Karen is there for him when he doesn't have a soul in the world. Later on, Karen is a consistent, like, I will be here for you character for Richard, which I think is nice.
It is.
But she says one of my favorite lines in the entire series where she goes, "Richard, you're my neighbor, and for some strange reason, I like you." Which is how I feel.
Because that's how we feel. That's what we said when we first started watching it, and we don't get it, but we do. We like him. Yeah. With all his faults, but yeah, we do. We like him too.
But yes, I like that they can be adversaries and then they can be friends. Like at the very end of the episode, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I like when at the very end of the episode, Richard and Karen are like, "This is over now," so they're back to being like bantery and joking with each other. And he's like, "Well, I'm going to run for president in 1980." She says, "Promises, promises." And I think it's cute. I think that they have a cute friendship.
They do. Through thick and thin, as they say.
In that scene where Sid is upset that Karen is not going to vote for Richard because he doesn't want it to cause a problem.
Right.
He's like, "Well, I'm not hungry. I'm going to go upstairs and go to bed." And it's another really nice, subtle moment that Karen is like, "Well, when I get up there, he's going to say he's hungry. So I'm going to take this apple up to him." See, that is the difference between being in a long-term relationship and just like this flirtation that she's having on the side, and like how you can't discount those things of how well you know that person, of being like, "Well, he's gonna say he's hungry, so I'm gonna take an apple to him," because you just know that person better than they know themselves. And I think it's just a nice touch of like, yeah, this thing is going on, but then Sid's marriage as a whole is not in trouble. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but not.
But not in a catastrophic sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice little touch of like, I'm still going to take care of him.
Yeah.
I still am invested in this relationship. I'm not out the door. I'm not gone. I think it's nice.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
And then we are to the scene that you wanted to get to, where Sid, as a surprise, gets Karen non-stick pots and pans, which on any day is a bad idea. On this day is a particularly bad idea.
Yes.
I love the scene because he's demonstrating it for her. And he's all excited about it, thinking that she loves it.
So she's gonna love it, yeah.
Well, he thinks because he's so oblivious. Like Sid is very oblivious a lot of the time that he doesn't realize that she is not enthused about this. That he's so enthused about it that he's just kind of assuming that she is. So he's got the cheese in it, and he's like, "Oh, you think it's gonna stick, aren't you?"
Like, this is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, like, "Oh, we're having a good time together." He melts the cheese and like has her dip a cracker in it and is like, "Oh, look at this. It didn't stick. It's all clean." And she's like, "Yeah, great." And he leaves immediately afterwards.
It's like, "Okay, bye. Just
I'll see you later."
Yeah.
I love that a second later the phone rings.
Yeah.
And this has just happened. And she answers the phone. Also inappropriate, by the way, that he is calling her right now. Very inappropriate. Yes. He has already been told to drop it. She answers the phone, and of course it's David. He's like, "I need to see you right now." And I guess these pots and pans upset her enough that she's like, "I want to see you too."
I want to see you too.
Which is crazy, by the way.
It is.
I think it's crazy. Yeah. I think that this episode didn't need her to actually go to his apartment. I think that is a step too far. I think that they could have had this moment. It's a great moment that she has, but I think it could have happened without her going to his apartment. I think that's a step too far.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I wrote down, this is cheating.
It is.
If this happened in my marriage and my spouse went to someone else's home, knowing the intention of this person, that is cheating.
That is cheating. If you, like they say, if you can't tell your spouse what you've just done, and if you expect them to be fine with it, they're not going to be fine with it. You know that. That's a form of cheating.
Yes.
If you're out there doing something is wrong, and you know what I mean? No. That wasn't good.
I think it's a step too far. I think that with this, Karen has committed infidelity. Whether or not she goes through with it, which of course she does not, I think it's still cheating. If this happened in my relationship, I would think of it as cheating.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. Like I said, that watching this one was going to be different in my 30s than it was as a teenager.
Yeah.
In a way, I do get it. Karen, even only being a few years older in this episode than I am now, in a different life stage than I am. She had her kids in her early 20s.
She's been married much longer. She's a 15-year-old. That's two 15-year-old
she's been married for 16, 17 years. She's got 15-year-old teenagers in the house. Like, my kids are small, but I still liked the monologue a lot. I especially liked her focus on just how quick things start going by.
Yeah.
When you're 34, 35, 36, and it's like it starts to go fast.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to hold on to anything because it starts to become a blur at that age where it's like, oh no, I'm going to be middle-aged soon.
She says, I hate that word.
I have all of these things behind me. What do I have ahead of me?
Yeah.
I think that's nice, and I think that it was well done.
Yeah. Yeah. The way she said it was perfect.
And I liked the feeling of, if this young, sexy, terrific person likes me, then that must mean that I'm young and sexy and terrific.
Yeah.
Which I liked. Sad that Sid is not making her feel that way.
Yeah.
Right now. I totally understand that feeling of, like, it felt nice to feel wanted and to feel like I was attractive to someone. Like I said, I think going to his place is a little far.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a little far.
But
I do that part different.
I do like the intention of the scene and the intention of the episode. I needed a little innocent flirtation, which this is not. This is a little too much.
Yeah.
But if it had been just like a little innocent flirtation, I don't think that's fine necessarily, but I don't think it's evil or anything either.
No.
It's very human, I think, which I liked. I enjoyed.
It was a good episode, and I liked her monologue there too, and she explained how she was feeling, what was going on, and that wasn't going to happen. She wanted to be able to look at herself.
And I liked her reasoning of, like, I came over here and then I didn't feel nervous. I know, so I know I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to do it, I would be nervous. Yeah. Like, I know for a fact this is not going to happen. So I thought that was nice. But I don't know how to feel about the ending of the episode when she comes home and she's immediately to Sid, like, let's go upstairs.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so he kind of riles you up and
yeah, a little bit, but
and slept with your husband. I think I don't know.
Well, it's but it is. It's good that that's where she ended up.
Well, sure. I mean, you're in bed with the correct person.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if you should be doing it right this second.
Yeah.
But sure. That's a nice episode. Oh, one last thought from this episode that I didn't bring up. So in the scene in the restaurant where Karen and David are having coffee, and they kind of establish Karen as an activist for the first time. Like in the last episode, a little bit, but kind of everyone was being an activist in that episode. So this one establishes Karen as like having a long history of activism, and it's like her thing that she does. But I think that there's a little bit of a contradiction, because in this early episode, they say, well, I just missed civil rights movement and the 60s revolution, right? That she had graduated college already. So she was like a little bit too late for that. But in later seasons, she claims that she gets arrested during a civil rights protest.
She does.
So
yes, she does.
What's the truth?
Good point. Yes, she does.
But yeah, this is also a consistent part of Karen's character, is that she is an activist and she cares very deeply about these causes. And that also remains consistent for 14 years. And I like that she kind of, in the end of the episode, used it as part of her identity. Like, I am an activist. I care about these things. This is what I have chosen to do with my life for this point in my life. But what else am I? I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm an activist, but I want to be a lover, she says.
Yeah.
I want to be desirable. I want to be something else, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
So for this next episode, I just want to put out a blanket trigger warning for rape and sexual assault. It's what the episode is about. There's no other plots in this episode other than that one. So protect yourselves. Don't listen to this if it's going to harm you in any way. With that, we open and everyone's reading the newspaper, and there have been various rapes in Knots Landing over the last few weeks. This person has been learning people's schedules and hiding out in their houses and waiting for them to get home and attacking them, which is terrifying.
It is.
And everyone is kind of, processing this and like, what should we do? And then Kenny and Ginger are back, this is the first episode they've been in since the pilot. They weren't in the last episode either.
Oh,
They
yeah.
weren't in 2, and they weren't in 3. But they are in this one, not for very long,
No.
but they are in this one. They do get more of a role later on. I didn't realize that early on they were so sparse in this series.
They're not in it very much.
In the first, I guess the whole first
I
season,
was
not
gonna say
really.
first season,
There's
not a lot.
Ginger gets an episode in the first season, but other than that, not really.
No.
Oh, I think that, and this is not really a spoiler, this is just who Kenny is. Kenny has an affair in the first season. I think Sylvie is in the first season. But other than those 2 things, they're really
not
in
in
it. They have more stories. Well, season 4, it's Kenny's season, is season 4. The first couple of years, not a ton going on with them.
No.
But anyway, they're back. They're in this episode. And Ginger's like, I want you home on time tonight because I don't want to be alone in the house because there's a crazy person in town. And he's like, ugh, can't we start any day without a fight? Okay, but your wife just said, I'm scared.
Yes, that's a fight.
Can you be home?
Yes, that's a fight.
And you don't even say like, oh, I can't, but maybe you should have dinner with the Fairgates or something.
Yes, I don't want you home alone either. She's not complaining about him not being home enough. She's afraid.
Like, at least offer something. Oh, ask if Laura is free to hang out with you tonight or something. Not, oh my God, here we go again.
Exactly. Well, I'm not home enough. No, that's, wow.
Anyway, I wrote down Kenny sucks because Kenny sucks.
Yes, he does. I mean, you've got a scary situation here, and all he sees it as is a fight.
Kenny sucks forever.
Yeah.
In season 4, he has his moments. There's a scene that he has with Gary. That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. But those moments are few and far between. Kenny sucks. And then we cut to Richard and Laura's house. And Laura's telling Richard about the rapes that are happening. And Richard is not listening. And he's talking about this stock that he missed out on. He sold it before it went up, and he's all pissed off about it. I've always loved this moment. It is so subtle, but it shows their dynamic and Laura's mindset in this episode, where she says, what kind of eggs do you want? And he says 3. And it is so good. He's not listening. There's not really a lot of attention drawn to that moment. It's just so good. It's so real.
It is. Yeah.
And I wrote down Richard sucks because Richard, as much as I love him, Richard sucks. Being mad at Laura for, oh, you didn't fry my eggs.
You fried them. I didn't want them fried.
No, he did want them fried.
Oh, he did want them fried.
Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But she asked, what kind of eggs do you want? And then you get mad when she just makes whatever because you weren't listening.
You weren't listening.
And then he's mad about these shirts that she sent through the laundry when they're supposed to be ironed, and just do it yourself.
Yes, do it yourself. You know, to him, she's can't do anything right. My eggs are wrong. My shirts are wrong. Oh, and the orange juice. Yes, well, I don't like seeds.
Oh, he's just so mean.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Mean.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it more when we get to that scene that we love at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But it's great to remember this scene when you're watching that one because it makes so much sense. Laura's need to feel needed but she's gotten into this marriage and this situation where needing to be needed is fine, but being taken advantage of because he knows you need to be needed is not. I think it's a great scene. I think it's a great way to establish Laura's mindset.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect.
And then she gets all dolled up because she's going to go to a bar. I don't know. I'm in my 30s and I'm still so naive. There are bars that are open in the morning.
In the morning, like 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock. We're heard about going to lunch.
They were shopping. So it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because Val is going to spend the day with Karen, helping her with, like, I don't know, whatever cause Kara is involved in right now.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's still early. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know of any bar that's open at like 9, 10 o'clock.
Who knows? Who knows? But Val's like, well, you were supposed to go with me to hang out with Karen today, so we're not at home today because none of us want to be home today.
Yeah.
And Laura lies to her and says, oh, I have a dentist appointment. And Val says, well, it's right on the way to the dentist. Can you just drop me off? And Laura's like, well, okay. And she drops Val off, and then she's all dolled up. Val has noticed this. Val's like, aren't you putting on the dog?
Yeah.
She says. And then Laura drops her off, and most likely Val sees her make a U-turn and not go the way that she said she was going to go. Now Val, even before anything else happens in this episode, has been roped into this situation. Of course, Laura goes to this bar, and she sits down, and almost immediately a man at the bar buys her a drink. And he kind of sidles up to her and is like, oh, I've been waiting for you to come back. You were here last Tuesday. It's exposition, but I think it's well done exposition of like, okay, she does this all the time. She's always here.
Always going to the bar.
And then he presents this sketch that he made for her last week. And the drawing sucks. It's so funny. It's so bad.
It is.
It doesn't look anything like her.
No.
It's bad.
He is not an artist.
And then he's like, well, come up to my apartment and I want to draw another one. I want you to model for another one. And she's kind of hesitant at first. And then she does go. She goes up to his apartment. And we don't have to go into too much detail about what happens. Laura has been raped. Like, there is no question about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially in our 2026 mindset, there is no question that this was rape.
No question at all.
She said, I want to leave, and he's blocking the door.
Yes, tries to get out.
And she says, I'm going to scream. Just because she said, okay.
Okay.
Because she was afraid for her life.
Yes.
Does not mean that she was not raped. And I just want to make that clear, especially since we're going to revisit this at the end of the episode because of the way the show frames this.
Yeah.
Which I think is grossly incorrect because she was raped.
She was. Absolutely, she was.
And after this happens, Karen and Val come home from their day stuffing envelopes, I think they were doing for like some mail-in campaign for something. And then Diana comes home from school, and Karen says, who's your friend who dropped you off? And Diana says that she hitched a ride, which is so stupid.
Yes.
We discussed this while we were watching it, that we don't think that this is something Diana as a character would do. Like, teenagers do stupid things. Like, no matter how smart you are as a teenager, you're still stupid. But I don't know. I don't know if Diana Fairgate, as she is portrayed, at least in the first, 4 seasons of this show, would get in a car with a stranger.
No, stand out there hitchhiking.
I don't think it would happen.
I don't think so either.
But it does happen, I guess. And she's so whiny, too. Karen says, go inside because you're in trouble. And Diana goes, this isn't fair.
Yeah, you're grounded. That's not fair.
That happens. And by the way, I'm sure Diana knows that there's a rapist in Knots Landing. So even crazier that she did that.
Yeah.
Val was going to come in with Karen, which would have prevented this whole thing.
Yeah, would have kept Val out of it.
But Karen now has to deal with Diana's bullshit. So Val's like, that's okay. You go ahead. I'm just going to go home. And Val goes and starts watering her flowers. And Laura pulls up. And Val knows right away something is wrong.
Yeah,
she's disheveled. She runs to the house, and Val notices, and she's like, well, what the heck is this? And then, of course, not 30 seconds later, Richard comes home. And, of course, he has to say something. He gets out of the car and says, I wish someone would teach my wife how to park.
Yeah. Always.
Richard sucks.
Always. Richard sucks.
I love him.
Always has, he's fun to watch. He's fun to say he sucks. Yeah.
Richard goes in the house, and of course he discovers Laura inside the house, and he immediately clocks what has happened. And I don't know, Richard rises to the occasion.
He does.
At least in this middle part of this episode, he does well.
Yes, he does.
He takes care of her. He says, you lie down. I'm going to call the doctor. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to take care of this. And he does. He rises to the occasion, and
he does. He takes care of her. He listens to her.
And then he goes downstairs while Laura's resting. Everyone's in the living room. They have heard what has happened. And Richard is blaming himself, saying, well, if I hadn't stopped, I would have been here. And Val is immediately like, what?
Yeah, wait a minute. This isn't right.
Because according to Richard and according to Laura, Laura got home a half hour before Richard. And Val knows this is not true.
Yep.
And now she's in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what a wild position that would be to be in.
To
know,
what do I do? What do I say? You know,
to know for certain that your friend has been at the very least assaulted, like you don't know what exactly has happened. Something terrible has happened to her, and to be certain of that,
yes.
but also to be certain that she is lying. It
did not happen in the house.
It's a weird position to be in. Like, do you bring it up? Do you ask, hey, why did you lie? Like,
yes, I was outside. Yeah.
And then everyone is at, I believe it's the Fairgates house, and they're banding together while Laura's resting at her house, and Richard is there with her. And then Kenny shows up because Ginger's not at home, and he's home on time, which, wow.
Yeah, amazing.
Incredible.
One time, yeah.
Kenny did one thing right. And then there's the nice scene because the women are all talking in the kitchen about what has happened and like how horrible it is. And then Diana gets uncomfortable and she runs upstairs and Karen follows her. I think this scene is slightly heavy-handed, but I do like it. I think it's a nice scene. I don't know. I think for some reason, scenes specifically between Karen and Diana about sex, I never like it. I don't know why. I think it's always kind of corny, kind of heavy-handed.
Too much.
And I think this every time they have a mother-daughter talk about sex. Because in the second season, they have another one. And I don't know. I never like it. I think it's a little too much. Yeah. I feel like it's not real, I guess. I don't think that's the way. I mean,
it's not the way you'd have the conversation.
With your teenage daughter, I don't think. I don't know. Something about it is just a little off. I think it's because Karen never says the word sex. When she's talking to Diana about sex, she always says lovemaking.
Good point.
I think the term lovemaking is corny. Yeah. Just personally. So I think that kind of brings me out of it a little bit. But and on the whole, it's a nice scene of like, yes, this could happen to you. So you need to be careful. You need to protect yourself because people like this exist and you are becoming a young woman.
Yes, and Diana says that too. You know, I'm a young woman. This could happen to me. And it's like, yes, and that means don't hitchhike.
And then we cut to a scene with all the men talking about this. I think it's really interesting to have a scene with men talking about this. I think especially for the time, it's kind of revolutionary in a way of like, what can men do about this?
Yeah.
They don't actually offer up any practical solutions,
right?
But I think practical solutions exist. I think that this starts with men. I think it starts with men calling out other men for being gross. I think it starts with don't joke about women like that. Hey, man, she said no, stop touching her. This isn't cool. I think that it starts with decent men not tolerating bullshit from creeps and stepping in and being like, hey, man, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, what the hell is wrong with you? You know?
Because, yes, there is, unfortunately, a responsibility for women to protect themselves and to be careful and to be aware of their surroundings. But ultimately, the responsibility for this to not happen is on men. And men need to call out other men on their bullshit so it doesn't get to the point where they think doing something like this is okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents about it. I think that the scene was nice.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Like I said, I think it's revolutionary to have the men.
Have them talking about what
can we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
I think it was nice. I liked it. Laura got the call that they had a suspect and they wanted her to go identify him. And Val immediately is like, do you want me to go with you? Which I think is amazing, especially because Val knows that something's off.
Knows the situation.
She knows that Laura has lied, that something is off about this whole situation, that at the very least this did not happen where and when she said it happened. But still, no hesitation.
Yep.
Do you need me there?
Do you need me to go?
And Val is just a really good friend.
She is.
She's a great friend. I wish I had Val.
I was gonna say I wish I had a Val.
Like someone who's just to be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you need me to be there? It's really nice. They go to the police station and Laura overhears the other lady coming out saying, I know, I knew I couldn't forget that scar.
Yeah.
So she knows who she's supposed to point out.
Right.
Because she knows this is not going to be the person that assaulted her, because this is the serial rapist. This is a different person. She knows this is not going to be the guy. But also, I don't think that it's okay for people in front of just whoever saying which person they chose out of the lineup.
No, because I mean, even if they're not in Laura's situation, you've been traumatized. You're putting that in their head that person had a scar, and then it's like, well, then yes, he must have had a scar. That's true. Shouldn't have done that.
No, I feel like if a lawyer was present and heard someone say, I knew I couldn't forget that scar in front of another person that was supposed to identify the suspect, they'd be like, throw this case out. Throw her out. Throw this out. Laura, of course, points out the guy with the scar because she's just been told that that's who the guy is supposed to be.
Yep.
And she's got to keep up this ruse that happened in the house.
Yes, and if she says it, then he needs to go to jail anyway. So I'm not helping put away somebody who didn't do anything. So I'll just say
it. But it is, let me be clear, not okay that she did that.
No, it is not.
I understand that she's so far into this now that she's just keeping up the appearance. Like, at this point, if you say you lied about it, now you have to explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it's still not okay that she did this.
No.
Especially since she is the reason why the guy is eventually let go right after they get out of the police station, because it is literally impossible for him to be her assaulter. So she has now ruined it for those other victims who positively identified him. She has made it much harder to get a conviction on this guy. And it's just not okay.
Not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Like, I understand that what she's been through is horrible. I understand that she does not want Richard to know how this happened. It's still not okay.
Still not okay. One line made another bigger. Just, no, not okay. Not okay.
And then everyone is kind of like humming and hawing, like, oh, what do we do? How do we talk to Laura? And Val is correct in saying, like, just leave her alone. I understand she's also saying that because she knows that something's weird.
Yeah.
But also just because leave her alone.
Leave her alone. When she's ready, when she feels she can talk about it at all, she will.
And then there's another scene where Karen's like, well, we're going to take Laura out to lunch tomorrow. What do we talk about? And she's really worked up about what she's supposed to do.
Yes.
It's like what you always talk about.
That's what I was talking about.
If she wants to talk about it, talk about it. If she doesn't, don't. Like,
yes.
You're overcomplicating it.
Yeah. I mean, she's worried that if I don't, she's going to think I'm not worried or care about her, but I don't know what her mindset was with that, but yeah, just exactly what Sid said. If she wants to do, yes. If not, don't.
One of the rare instances where I just think Sid is 100% right, and I think that he's being Sid again. He's staying neutral.
Yeah.
But he's correct.
But
It's staying neutral. So I also love the moment where Richard is comforting Laura and is like, I'm always here if you need me. I'm going to take care of you. I'm here. I'm your husband.
I love you.
I'm always here for you. And then she starts to cry. And it's the first time where I thought, oh, she's crying because he's never said this to her before. That, like, it took something this horrible for him to even acknowledge anything, to say that he cares about her.
Right.
And it's terrible.
It is. It's so sad. It is.
I never really realized that before. That she's crying because he doesn't talk like that to her.
Hey, he cares. He's worried about me. Yeah.
And why did it take this
to have him say all that?
And then they go out to lunch, and she sees someone who looks like the person who assaulted her. And it causes a panic attack. Naturally, it would. And she runs home, and Val follows her. And then the best scene, probably in season 1 happens.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes in season 1 for sure. Where I think Laura's monologue here is so great. I think it's so good.
It is. It really is very powerful.
I think it's a really nice character study of who Laura is at the beginning of this series. Yeah. Like, it makes so much sense. Like, it's so real.
It does. It just, it does. Just feel it from her, you know?
I've had to try harder than everyone else just to be okay at something my whole entire life.
Yeah. To be noticed,
to feel like anybody cares about me, to just feel seen at all. And I don't know, it's just so good. Constance McCatchen is amazing.
She's amazing. Just amazing. Love her.
She's incredible. And like, I just really felt for her when she said, well, when I met Richard, he's the first one who ever came back.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just so sad.
Yeah, he's the only one. He's the only one that came back.
It's just so sad. That's her bar. You know, that's her criteria.
Yeah, well put. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then she liked him needing her when he was going through law school. She worked and put him through law school and was there for him and took care of him. And now they have Jason, and Jason and Richard have this incredible bond, and she doesn't feel like she belongs in that. And I think it's just really nice. I think that it's so real.
It is, and she doesn't feel needed by Richard anymore, and
now Richard is a dad, and apparently that is his role of a lifetime, is being a dad, and doesn't need her anymore.
Yeah.
And Jason is a daddy's boy, loves his dad, and she just, as she says, she feels left out. Like, she's just
again, after having said everything the way it was in her childhood, and
now she's just invisible again. She's the one who makes the meals and does the laundry and takes Jason to school and cleans the house. But all of that is invisible labor, and she's not appreciated for it.
Right.
And
she's actually not just not appreciated for it. She's put down.
Exactly. She's doing it wrong. She's, and it's like, I don't know what I am anymore. I'm just invisible again. Here I am again. I'm just nothing again. And she says that she feels trapped. And Val is amazing in this scene too.
She is.
Where she's like, well, I know you, and I don't need to know why you've lied about this. I don't need to know what actually happened.
Right.
But I just know that you'll do what's right.
Do the right thing.
Yeah. And validating her feelings, for one thing, which is really nice.
Was huge. Yeah.
Like, I can see that you feel this way. You're not the only one who feels this way. And I'm your friend, and I think you're a great person, and I think that you will do the right thing.
And then she just walks away. Doesn't judge her in it.
It's like, you don't need to tell me what happened.
Right.
I'm never going to ask you what happened. This does not change our relationship.
Right. Yeah,
you just need to take care of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
That's such an incredible scene.
And then after Val leaves, Richard calls, says, hey, they got the guy. He did it again. So he's going to be put away for a long time. They don't need your testimony. Ironclad case. It's over. But she still calls the detective and says, hey, that's not the guy that attacked me. This is where I think the episode goes off the rails. I think that it was great the whole time until here, where the detective asks, should we be looking for the other one? And Laura says no. Which, like you pointed out to me, like, she doesn't want to have this whole thing come out. She doesn't want Richard to know, which I think is a fair point. But still, this show, because I know this is how they framed it, and this is the intentional framing of, like, she was not, quote unquote, raped. And I hate it.
Yeah, that's
because she was. She very much was.
She was, absolutely.
And I know that that's the intention of their framing, because there's this video. And it's a 200 episode recap of the series that the producers made for just like a silly thing to show the cast and crew to celebrate this milestone. And it's a very funny video. But the way they describe this episode in it is Laura pretends to be raped. And it's horrible. It's like, I knew it. That was your intention, to say that it was not rape.
Oh my God.
Because she went there or something.
Right, you asked for it. If you shouldn't have gone with this stranger, left the bar.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
Oh, that's terrible.
And it's implying at the end of this episode, no, you shouldn't be looking for the other one because it was my fault.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's the one spot where this episode just did not age well at all.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
Because, as I said before, I want to make it very clear that Laura was raped.
Yes.
Like, there's no question about it.
No question about it.
It's 2026. We know you can wear anything, go anywhere.
Yes.
If you say no, it means no.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think this episode is great. And then they all go out to dinner to celebrate that this person was caught.
Yeah, all the friends.
Yeah, the whole neighborhood.
Whole cul-de-sac.
Yes. And Richard, it's a fancy restaurant, French restaurant that Richard has chosen. Val, the comic relief that Val gives in this moment of my menu doesn't have any prices on it.
Yes, that was don't worry, we're not paying for it.
It's very cute. And then, like we said, the second this is quote unquote over, right? Richard is like, okay, I don't have to take care of her anymore.
Right.
This person's in jail. She should be fine now, and I can just go back to acting the way I was.
Yes.
And it's
being an ass.
awful.
Basically.
It's awful.
It is
telling her
awful.
everything she orders is wrong.
Oh, that's too sweet. That's wrong with the wine. And then orders for her.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, it's terrible.
And then, of course, Karen rules as always.
Yes.
Karen's the best because Laura's like, well, here we go. Like it's, I guess Sweet Richard is gone now because this is over in his mind now. So then, of course, Karen, being amazing, orders what Laura was going to order.
Yeah,
the ducked all around
and the onion soup. Yes,
very good. And then, of course, the closing moments of this episode. Laura goes up to the bar at the restaurant and accepts a light from a man sitting at the bar. She just locks eyes with Val.
Yes.
And
like you said, haunting.
Oh, it's haunting. It is haunting.
It is. She's amazing. She's
so
just so amazing. She gave me chills when she does that. Every time I've seen it.
It's just so good. I don't know. I can't describe it or like why it makes you feel that way. You just have to see it.
But when you see it, it's just it just gets
and
to
that,
you.
the freeze frame as she like brings the cigarette to her lips, and it's like,
and they just they lock eyes, and it's just that's the end of the episode. It's just amazing.
It's so good.
It is so good. They're all just so good.
They are.
They're just so good.
Like I said, this cast are just incredible.
They are. They really are.
That is episodes 3 and 4 of season 1 of Knots Landing. Next week we'll be covering episodes 5 and 6. I've already looked them up. They are Will the Circle Be Unbroken, which is the first appearance of Val's mom, Lily Mae.
Lily Mae Clemens.
Who, of course, becomes a main cast member later on. But for now, it's in just this one episode. We'll talk about the mean old boys.
and all of Val's rough times with her, and
And then episode 6 is Home is for Healing, which is Lucy Ewing's only appearance on Knots Landing. She comes to visit her parents. So it's going to be a Val and Gary fest next week. It's gonna be all about Val and Gary.
Yes, it is. Nice.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'll see you next week for more.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.